Okay, so yeah, this is the very last quest. Level 101. Really? She would crash land a ship? That seems. Oh, I see. She put them to sleep, and then it crashed naturally. Got it. Of course, it's like it's mind-bogglingly crazy that she put them to sleep, which means she would have had to been on the ship. She essentially put your own. It's like it's like if you're flying in an airplane and you knock out your pilots and then expect it to go well. It's like you knocked out the pilots. You're pretty much fucked. The plane's gonna crash and you're going to die. Like, it seems a very stupid plan. But even if she like did this and like jumped off with a parachute or something like that, it's also kind of said the idea was like, oh, okay, we're gonna have a crash land near these guys, but it's like, but they're asleep. How are you? And they're asleep. Presumably, you were running away. You've gotten off the ship, so you don't die. So how are you going to make sure that the plane actually lands close to them? The idea was that you're supposed to have it land close to them, but if you knock out the pilots, it's not like it's going to go like, it's not like it's going to stop, right? And you'll go straight down. It's going to start, going towards the ground. And yeah, you could line it up and be like, okay, cool. Like, we've lined it up. But like, to guarantee that it's going to land in that direction, you'd need to like crash a shitload of ships. Because like, he fell asleep. Is he just on the ground? Is he leaning against the wheel? Like, how are you? Because presumably, even if you knock him out and like put him on the ground, like the airship should just go forward. It shouldn't like just immediately crash. It's not like the airships need a pilot to keep it in the sky, because the ship should keep it in the sky. The pilot is just to direct its direction. So you'd need the pilot to fall asleep on the wheel to then have the wheel be going, pointing downwards, so that it would crash into the ground. And even then, depending on how the pilot's leaning against the wheel could determine the angle of, so it's like so many stupid points to this, where it's like, it's just completely unpredictable. I'm not sure, like, just crashing it could be the end goal. It doesn't actually even have to be close to them. It just could be like, nah, we want them to crash. That's all that matters. Okay, fine, sure. And then she just got lucky that it happened to be relatively close. It's also crazy because, like, we are a bunch of islands floating in the sky. You could have easily just missed the island and then fallen down into nowhere. And this also doesn't make sense, right? He said that the wounded-ish guardians came pouring out, but they're all asleep. So how did they come pouring out if they were already asleep? So she had a griffin, right? Clearly she had a griffin. That's how she got off the ship. She just flew in, put them to sleep, flew off. That's why she's safe. But then but if she came in and put them all to sleep, then how did they come pouring out of the ship when they were all asleep? So again, doesn't make sense. It's logically inconsistent. You literally said they came pouring out, but now here they are asleep. And it's very unlikely that she showed up after it crashed and then put them to sleep at that point. So she had to have put them to sleep before, in which case they would not have been able to emerge from the ship. Unless, of course, like, they woke up because of the crash briefly. I don't know. Like, we don't really know how the power works. But anyway, it's just inconsistent. They shouldn't have described them as pouring out of the ship and then show them asleep when we arrive, because they couldn't. They would have had to been put asleep while the airship was flying, and if they were put to sleep when the airship was flying, they couldn't have come pouring out when it crashed, because they are asleep. Yeah, okay. So it wasn't intentional. She just wanted them to crash. and it was just a coincidence that they happened to land. Okay, never mind. Then that one aspect is fine. It's not that she was trying to have this crash into the Zundu. She just wanted them to crash. Anywhere within within the Zundu territory would have been fine, and it was just an added bonus that it was right next to them. But yeah, she does raise a good point. Is that, one, you're the perpetrator. Two, you even show up at the scene of the crime and even admit your guilt. So even if it was going to be a political issue, it would have been like, oh no, I can't believe the Guardians would have done this to us. And technically she's a Guardian, so it could still bite them a little bit. But when the perpetrator shows up on site saying, it was me, I did it, most people are not going to be like, oh, I can't believe those Guardians did this. There's a culprit right there. And there's the Guardians and, our ally, the Warrior of Light, going against her. It's like, yeah, you already... I mean, your best bet would have been to put them to sleep and fuck off, right? If you put them to sleep and fuck off, they could say, oh, well, actually, she used this mystical thing and did this, but, they would still maybe harbor a sliver of doubt. That's such a fantastical story. We can't possibly believe that. Now, the fact that we, as the Warrior of Light, explained it to them, that might be enough for them. They might be like, oh, well, if the Warrior of Light says so, they helped us with Bismarck and all that bullshit, so fuck it, whatever she says goes. So, it could be that even just our word would have, squashed any possible misunderstandings. But then the perpetrator shows up at the scene of the crime, admitting their guilt. It's like, why? It's just dumb, right? It's just as a plan, it's dumb. Her plan was better when she was doing it secretly, right? Putting them to sleep, no one knows. Even if you do know, right? Even because the Knights will all say, no, it's not us, it's her. But the people aren't going to care, and the people aren't going to know. Because it's not like she shows up in front of every single merchant, saying, I'm doing this, puts them to sleep and runs away. The merchants were unaware, the Knights were unaware, until we made them aware. But eventually the merchants will lose trust in the Knights if this woman will show up and put them to sleep at a moment's notice. So her plan would work perfectly well if she just kept doing it. If she just kept putting the Knights to sleep without ever revealing herself. Eventually the merchants would lose faith in these Guardians. Wait, what? Wait, what did she say? Oh, that. Yeah, I mean, I also said this one seems like the stupidest of ones. Well, I mean, actually, I don't know. I haven't done all the role quests. This is my third role quest. I did the. Actually, wait, is it my third one? No, yeah, this is my third one. I did the melee one and the casting one. The casting one was interesting because it was it caused a calamity around people. But around people, so when the caster or when the owner of the relic activated it, it would cause a calamity for anyone around him. So it was like a bad luck attractor type thing. Which the reason why you seal that is it makes sense, right? It's dangerous. It attracts bad luck and could cause calamities. Not like world-ending calamities, but just calamities in general. And this one, it's because I said it the last time we did a role quest. Last time I was working on this role quest, is that what's the dynamic of this? It's okay. You have one warrior who stays awake and use the relic to essentially take their sleep and put it in the other person. So the guy with the sword, he's the one who stays awake 24/7, and she's the one who sleeps, most of the day. He steals her vitality to keep himself awake, and so she ends up sleeping 20 hours a day or something like that. Not all the time, but a huge majority of the day. And that's basically how the tribes work. You have the shut eye and the waking eye, and one guy is supposed to be an ever vigilant guard, and the other person is supposed to be like, okay, well, I'm just going to sleep most of the day so that the ever waking guard, can stay awake the entire day. But like, it's stupid, right? Because you're using a relic to essentially save one person, right? Because realistically, you could do this with two people. You could have one person be a guard from midnight to noon, or like maybe 6 p.m. or 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. You could have one person be a guard from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and you could have another person be a guard from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Two people, two guards. One that guards one half of the day, and the other guy guards the other half of the day. Because it needs two people. But like here, even in this situation, they still need two people. They still need the guard and the person that's asleep. So two people have to be assigned to this 24-hour guard, regardless. The only difference is that this system only needs one really good guard, and the second person doesn't matter. You're just going to steal their sleep, or you're going to steal their vitality so they sleep. So they just need to be able to sleep, which literally anyone can do. You don't have to be a good guard. You don't have to be a good warrior or whatever. Whereas having two guards, you actually need two good guards. So, sure, right? It's slightly more inconvenient to train two really good guards than one. But realistically, you'd also need to be constantly training guards anyway, because he's going to retire at some point. So someone's going to have to take over. Or what happens if he gets injured, right? You can't wait till he gets injured and then start training a guard to replace him while he's injured. Like, no, you have to constantly be training guards. You have to have a guard troop being trained to do other things, and so that when he gets old and needs to retire, that there's a ready replacement to take over for him. So, like, it's so dumb. They're using this relic to save one person's worth of manpower. To be like, yeah, cool. Well, now that we have this relic, we don't need two really good guards. We just need one. Woohoo! We saved one person. It's like one person. This is something they've done for centuries, or at least a long period of time, to save one person's worth of manpower. Like, and it's not even like one person's worth of manpower because she's basically incapacitated. So, but to save you on training an extra guard, that's it. That's the only purpose of this relic. It's stupid. It's like, why? I mean, it's not even about right or wrong. It's criminally inefficient. It's like, it's so dumb. Because, like, even he needs to train specifically to be awake all the time. So he needs extra training to stay awake and to be able to, like, resist sleep and all that shit. So it's like, it seems easier to have just two guards. It's easier. But yeah, like, I don't know. Like, it would make more sense if this was a very, very small tribe that just doesn't have enough people. And sure, like, they can have one really strong warrior every generation, and so they just like, shit. Like, we're not a very good warrior race. We don't have enough people. We don't have enough fighters in our tribe. So when we have a good one, we have to make sure that they're able to do the entire tribe's worth of warrioring. I could get that. But, like, after doing this for a while, you should have, like, your tribe should have grown, like, and to the point where you could maybe have other guards. And then maybe at that point it's a ritual, so they just don't even think about it. But either way, what it's being used for is dumb, and maybe there was an actual viable reason why it was used way, way, way back when they were in trouble. They were being attacked 24/7, and they only had one warrior who was strong enough to defend the tribe. And so they came up with this plan. Yeah, that's a viable use case. I could get that. And then it just became a tradition, so they stopped thinking. They stopped using their brain and just let it continue. Yeah, my character looks cool as hell. Really? Really? There's no other Zundu around? No one noticed the fucking skulking people? It's weird that she's actually attacking us. Why doesn't she put us to sleep? That's what she did last time. She put him to sleep. Why doesn't she put all three of us to sleep? Problem solved. That was the other thing too. It's like, yeah, in the previous one she's like, oh, I'll put you to sleep and then run away. This time she's like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that for some reason. And they haven't really like talked about the what the issue is for this cradle, right? Like there has to be some sort of restriction. There has to be some sort of reason. There we go. There has to be some sort of reason. Oh, whoops! Let's turn on my tank stance. There we go. Oops, let's get these. Oh wait, what? Oh, I can't aggro. I can't get these guys. Okay, so I just gotta help them out. Okay, so yeah, that's funny. I guess I just gotta go against. Oh shit! Oh no, I can't aggro all these people. Okay, whatever. That's funny. Yeah, I didn't realize that AoE would be strong enough to break through that shield. That's why I didn't even bother. But yeah, actually did a chunk of damage. Okay, so now they're finally going to use it. I guess that makes sense. They were waiting until they were weak, or had weakened a little bit, and then they're going to steal us to make themselves stronger. So, but that's the thing is they never really told us about the negatives about it. They did say that he has to train so that he can use it to stay awake all the time. So that would imply that there's some sort of toll it takes on the user that you need to, train to be able to withstand. To her, who just got it, probably doesn't have that. But they really have they have not gone into any sort of detail about what that potential weakness could be. Oh, so he just took its power. I thought she was going to put us to sleep. Okay, that's weird. She just took the power that was already reserved in it, I guess, for some reason. Well, not for some reason. She was losing, so that's why she did it. But, like, rather than put us to sleep, she's like, oh, okay. Oh, I see. Is he going to put... Is this... Cool, I guess. Oh, hey, cool. Plus wide-eyed. Nice. That's pretty cool. Oh, is he going to fall asleep because of it, though? Does he have the buff? We have the buff. He does not. Yeah, he went to sleep. We were safe. That's interesting. That's actually pretty cool. So she's probably going to protect. She's probably going to wake him up. Yeah, he's asleep. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, it does beg the question of, like, yeah, like, that was its entire purpose the full time. Oh, I see. They're going to wake him up. Got it. Oh, whoops, I didn't even notice that tether. God damn it. Okay. That's kind of annoying. Actually, what's really annoying is I don't know when it's going to go off. So presumably I have to do it for, like, a period of time. Oh, yeah, I forgot to do my... Oh, that apparently did it. Actually, no, I guess it did a little chunk of damage. Yeah, I just don't know the timing for it. Yeah, so Dagger Flight did nothing. See, so it's not strong enough to penetrate my shield. Okay, cool. But that was a cool mechanic, though. The fact that he does his protection thing, it makes us immune to sleep. And then I'm actually curious, what happens if I fell asleep? You know, like what happens if I had not been protected by him and I fell asleep? Would it just instantly fail the mission, or would it have continued on to be like, oh shit, we gotta wake him up, and then I would have failed because he would have been killed while I was asleep and unable to protect him. Oh, here's what that poison dagger would have done. Would that would it have been like a really strong poison, or it would have just been? Presumably, it's not going to kill us, right? Actually, I'll do this. There we go. Some shield. It's been an interesting fight. I think the whole sleep mechanic thing, the fact that we put him to sleep. She put him to sleep, and he was able to protect us with his paladin cover. With his paladin like shield thing was pretty cool. So we'll see. Presumably now she's going to be like affected by it. She's going to be like, "Oh, I'm going to try to use it," and then I'm going to get like my 5 months of sleep that I was skipping because of this thing now is all compounded, and I'm going to sleep for the next 5 years or something. So I actually do fall asleep. She never used it on us before. Oh, I see. It has a brief moment where it can't be used. Now, it does beg the question of why the fuck couldn't I have done that, right? Why the fuck couldn't he? Why the fuck couldn't I have gotten the relic while he was asleep? Oh, okay, never mind, dude. I was gonna say, like, yeah, the second you get the relic from her, stop everything and pick it up. She can escape, that's fine. Her escaping without the relic doesn't matter. But yeah, obviously with the relic you can just do this too. Whoops. Of course, that was a little weird because I don't think it was hard for us to tell that she was even that close to it. I mean, really? Because like you woke up. Now, I don't know because like everyone has woken up who's been used on it. The only reason you were you slept for so long was because you'd been staying awake for so long. Essentially, you had been using her vitality to keep yourself awake for the past who knows how many years. So when you were put to sleep, you had that much like pent up exhaustion, which makes sense. But why is that? I mean, to be fair, she did use it. She did use it a lot. So perhaps when it's used on you, you get affected by how much you had stolen yourself. How much sleep had you gotten rid of? And then you now have to do like 10 times that amount of sleep to return or something. And I'm just chilling. Oh, goddamn, I missed my screenshot. Fuck. I want to get my screenshot of my face. Right? I thought that I was a little too fast and loose. I should have been quicker. I was trying to look for a perfect thing where the bubbles would be appearing because I waited so long and that dialogue wasn't a stop. It was it did continue on its own. That's a shame. That was such a great screenshot. It'd been nice if I could have caught it. And that's actually interesting too. Their dance. You might think, oh, it's stupid. Their dance wouldn't work, but actually, they did say that when they do their dance, there's a surge of ether. So it could be that the ether they're doing is that training anytime soon. No, I missed it by a long shot. So it's like it's essentially you're being inundated with ether, which is actually able to like blast because it's kind of like tempering, kind of. The sleep thing is like a mild temper where it's affecting your ether, and so the ether of their dance is just blasting that effect away. But yeah, and that's the whole thing. Is they're being self-sufficient, and like that was the other thing. Is like you don't really need guards when you have like when all of Tyrell is kind of like under the same banner of the Sun King, or of the vows or whatever. I think what is the king called the Sun King? I forget what the title of the king is. I know that Wuklamat is the vow of reason, vow of resolve, but what's the title of the king? I think it was or the Dawn Servant. That's it, the Dawn Servant. They're under the banner of the Dawn Servant. So, like, you don't need only to be protected internally. You could just be like, yeah, we're going to have one guard and also some lands guard to help us out a little bit. So, but yeah, so I get that they're trying to be self-sufficient, but it's like, I don't know, like, there's so many points that don't really make sense to this. They're all minor points, so it doesn't really matter too much. Yeah, I don't like this relic in particular as much. Like it's like the casting one made sense because like it caused problems, and if you use it too much, you'll get it'll burn you. So it's like yeah, so that because he used it too much, it burned him. This one is like yeah, this seems to be a relic that there's like no problem whatsoever to use. Like yeah, you want to use the relic? Who gives a shit? Like doesn't matter because okay, I'll do a leveling. Yeah, it seemed like this relic can be used with impunity. There's like no downside to it at all. It's just whoever has it has that power, no problems whatsoever. Like he says, "Oh, I train all the time, and I've been training my entire life to use this thing and to be the waking eye." But then this woman just randomly picks it up and is able to do everything you do. And maybe she's not staying awake. Maybe she actually is going to sleep at night. And then it's just using the power just to invigorate her during battle. Yeah, that seems to be a little more efficient. And it's needless to staying awake. But we don't know, right? So from our perspective, we just see her take it and use it with impunity all the time with no negative side effects whatsoever. And then these two are like, oh no, we've been doing this. We've been doing all this training. We've been doing all these things that make us awesome and great and make it useful and stuff. And so that's why it's kind of weird, right? That's why it's kind of weird. Because it's like, it seems to be a relic that has like no downsides whatsoever. Or it seems like it's like their lives got changed because of how they use it, but the bad person, is able to use it. Like generally, I just don't like that in a story, where it's something like, oh, like the good guys have to work really hard on their shit, and the bad guys just get everything handed to them for free. Like, that's why I didn't really like My Hero Academia, because you have all the good children are like training really hard, to be able to use their powers really well, and then the bad guys just get everything for free, right? The guy who, All for One, is training that crazy lunatic kid who like disintegrate people or whatever. Like, he's like, I'm just going to imbue him with power. Yeah, he doesn't have to do anything. He's just going to get imbued with power. Oh, I'm going to clean up his messes. He just shows up, acts crazy, does his thing, and is able to get away with it because he's backed up or just incredibly lucky. And then you have, like, the blood girl, like, is it Himiko or Himiko? Like, they had the one scene where they're attacking where it was their little tiny group of crazy kids attacking the dude who has this whole entire organization. And Himiko, like, these people are all training their powers really hard and able to use it. Himiko gets the blood of one of them and is able to use that person's power just as well as they were. Like, I get the whole idea is that, oh, if she gets their blood, she can use their power. I get that. But, like, there's nothing in your blood that, like, where's the training come from? How is she able to use it just as well? You should be shit at it. You should be shit at it because you've never used a power like this. You don't know how to maximize the power. You know? You don't know how to maximize it. So, like, she's just like, oh, I'm just able to use it. It's like, yeah. So you just get to use her power for super easily. So it's like, yeah, it just kind of sucked. I did not like that as a concept because it was just like, oh yeah, like, who gives a shit? Like, she can just do it. And I'm like, why? Why is she able to do it? Like that just made no sense. I get it, right? Like, it's part of how she is, but like, it's just one of those aspects where it's just like, yeah, the bad people don't have to do shit.
Yeah, I wouldn't know why. It feels like
the bad people don't have to like do any sort of training. They just get everything for free with no effort whatsoever. It's just like, really? That I just find cheap. It's just like they don't have to do anything. And then in that fight, you know, the crazy little kid manages to lose control of his power or something, creates this huge thing, and then the guy who's in charge of this huge organization is like, okay, sure, I'll follow you now. And it's like, really, dude? Really? So again, like, this kid just shows up, gets incredibly lucky, and gets control over this dude's entire empire that he spent like his entire life working towards, and it's like, and he's like, so it's basically he just shows up, gets super fucking lucky, and it's just like, come on, dude, like, so yeah, I just don't like that type of thing. Like, I kind of want everyone to work towards it, right? Like, I don't mind if it's something like, oh, well, they actually did work really hard. They spent like decades planning this shit and getting all this shit ready. Fine, sure. Like, it's fine if you spent like a lot of time in a secret bunker getting everything working perfectly. I get it, right? Like, that's fine. Because obviously there's going to be those villains who like seem to have every advantage because they spent, you know, so long preparing for it. And while it might seem cheap for the hero, because they just show up at the last minute and didn't see all the preparation that went into it,
I love it.
you know, so it's just like, there's a lot of shit like that where it's like, it's fine because it makes a little bit of sense because it's like, oh, at least they're, you know, at least they're trying, at least they really worked hard, at least they did this, at least they did that. Like, sure, you know, you could tell that they put some effort into their endeavors, and their advantages that they have were because they spent, you know, this and that amount of time. Okay, well, that was stupid of them. It just died. Stayed in the AoE. So it's like I just don't like that type of shit. It feels cheap, right? It just feels so cheap that like when it's just given to them. Like the villain doesn't have to put in any effort, doesn't have to put in any work. They just get everything without really trying or do it or because of luck or some reason like that. It feels it's just bad writing. It's because they couldn't think of an actually compelling, interesting, valid reason for it to work. And I do get, like, this is a shonen thing, so, like, they don't have to get the nuts and bolts. And, like, Himiko's thing is, like, yeah, sure, she can use their powers. But similarly, it's the kind of thing where it's like, she shouldn't use their powers well, because they're not her powers. They're someone else's powers. These people, like, you see that, and these children are spending, like, decades training how to use their power. Like, that's why the main character of My Hero Academia is so bad, is because he only just got One for All's power just recently. And that's why he's not good at using it, is because he only just got it. Oh, damn it. I didn't get my silence off in time, or my interrupt off in time. So yeah, like... Villain sucks. Yeah, the kill's not super good. Like, dude, like, you clearly see it's running towards you. Like, be ready for it. You know, the second he goes away, get to the outer edge, because he's going to pop up from somewhere and then start charging towards one location. So you got to see where he's going. And so, I mean, maybe it's bad luck. Like, all of us were already out of the way, so we didn't have to worry too much. But it looked like the healer ran away. It's a little too late. Really? You have a fucking full raise. Like, you have it was quick cast. Do you not have your... You should have had quick cast. Yeah, the fortunate thing is, like, again, do you not have swift cast? Like, you should have swift cast by this point.
I'm sure if I maybe because I think it was I love Lalo and it was taking Lalo and life. Give you Lalo and it's not like a harmony. Lalo is great. No, it is. Lalo is why it's everything works. Oh right, yeah. I mean it's sad ending. It's just has a Lalo. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna actually talking about that. I think people try to think of the almost the one working on the musical. Even the top one, but then the pacing is actually not. No, it's right.
God, dude, please, people, pay the fuck attention. It does suck that every fucking one is violet, and like the single target one, you have to outrange it, essentially. Well, actually, you can't completely outrange it. We gotta just get close enough till it stops. Oh my god, you fucking moron! Ah, Jesus Christ, our healer is shit. No, the thing is, you have to get close enough till it stops, then get the fuck out of the way. That's what you need to do. That's the problem, is that it will follow you for either a certain period of time, or it'll, or you can bait it. You get close enough until it stops and then run away. So you quickly dash in and out.
Yeah.
Well, this is a terrible run. I'm just going to leave. I don't care about the loot. I don't care about the combination. Oh, I got a combination. Nice. I probably would have gotten more combinations if I stayed inside, but I don't care. Oh man, that was rough. Luckily, the healer didn't die right away, so I had enough sustain to stay alive. You can dodge a lot of shit in that. Like, honestly. But yeah, like, the whole point of the ball is either you continuously run away, and at a certain point in time, it will explode on its own. But what you're actually supposed to do is you're supposed to run in real quick and run out. So you run into it real quick, run out, because the second you get closer, so the second you get a certain range, it'll stop and then explode. So you run in, get it to stop, run out. And you don't even like wait for it to stop, you just quickly dash in and out. And hope that it stops. If it doesn't stop, do it again until you're a little closer that time. And then out. And you get it to stop and you get the fuck out. The problem is, I think the healer tried to do that, but they weren't quick enough to get out. And they were too low on health. So it's like, yeah, they died. I mean, that's what I assume they're doing because I didn't see them run closer towards it, or get closer towards it. I just think they didn't run out in time. So they ran in, triggered it, but then didn't get out in time. Like, or waited for it to wait until they visually could see it stop, and then moved out, which is like, that's that point's too late because of the server ticks and all that shit. It's just like, no. By the time you've seen it stop, it's already stopped on the server end for like a second or two. So you have to get the fuck out. So yeah. He's like, I gotta get I'm used to not being a tank. It's like, I mean, sure, I guess. He does raise a good point. If you're a tank, you never get targeted for that. So he might not be used to it because he's just not used to it. He's just never had to deal with it, or rarely has to deal with it, because he's a tank. But to be fair, this is a Realm Reborn. Like, I've been playing the game since the beginning. Like, I haven't run Cutter's Cry in ages, and I still remember the mechanics. So like, I don't forget that shit. So I'm obviously a little more critical because I can remember this shit. I can remember what you're supposed to do, even if it's been years since I've done it. Because like essentially, once I get to max level, I don't ever run leveling roulettes ever. So basically, I haven't run leveling roulettes since the beginning part of Endwalker. So I haven't gotten that dungeon in ages, in 2 years approximately. Actually, no, probably 2 years at least, maybe even 3, because Endwalker came out not exactly 2 years before the previous expansion. So, anyway. So yeah, like, it's like 2 years and 9 months or something like that, maybe, since I've run. I think I've gotten the Cutter Sky since, as a leveling roulette in John Trail. So it's been relatively recently, but before that, I still got the mechanics, right? Because I still know how to fucking do the fight. I don't forget the mechanics. Anyway, so I am going to call... Wait, let me start the... I don't want to do fizz range fast. I like machine, that's machineals. So I have that gun. I might want to change my fizz range glamour at some point. But it's fine for now. But yeah, there's 2 role quests I have not done. Fizz ranged and healing. I'll probably save healing for a little bit because my healers are like the ones I've done the least. So I haven't started at all. Once I get Gunbreakers done, because I'm only doing it for the queues. So like, I'll do frontline roulettes with DPS because the queue time it doesn't matter what your class is. So it's the perfect thing to do for DPS. Or use whenever I see an alliance roulette have a DPS in need, I'll do that. But in the meantime, if it's not, then I'll just do tank. And soon my tanks will be maxed out. And then I'll start working on it. I'll use, adventure and need when it's a healer, with my frontline roulettes being for DPS. And still, I still have to farm a bunch of fates as well. So there is that I could use to like level up any of my classes. Okay, so this is the fizz ranged role quest. Yeah, and the reason I could accept I mean, I could do the healing roll quest immediately because I have a scholar. I could do it as a scholar, but I would miss out on the experience of that. Unfortunately, because I leveled my fizz range too quickly and forgot about the roll quest, I didn't stop one of the fizz ranges from the leveling up max to max. I think I used my fizz range. I think I was doing roulettes, and then I was using like fizz ranged at level 99 to do my shared fates in living memory. So that's why, like, well, this one I got because I was farming for the S rank as well as the snake. This one I got because I was like, okay, well, it's only really good if you're in that level 99 to be here. So once I got the class to level 99, I would do fates until I got to level 100. And that's how I accidentally leveled all my fizz range to 100 because I wasn't paying. I forgot about the roll quests, and so I just did fates, got them to 100, and then did these to finish that off too. So yeah, I got to get back to these. Kozmo Maka seems the closest one to being complete for the next round, but yeah. So realistically, I could just have like my Dragoon maybe or my Reaper go through those fates. Because DPS is better. Like, it's not, you don't want to be a healer to do that shit. So at that point, I might as well just like have my have all my queues. I mean, I could do it. I could do these fates when I'm max level. I just wouldn't get the experience, but then that's disappointing. But anyway, okay. So I've been streaming and walking on my treadmill for a while, for 70 minutes. I think that's pretty much all I want to do. I don't. MSQ roulette would take like 30 minutes. I don't want to walk for another 30 minutes. Hungry. Want to shower. So I'll just call it a day now. And call it a day. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead. And that'll be it. I probably will not be on later tonight, but we shall see. I might pop in and maybe do a Divergent Universe. We'll see. But anyway, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.